All right. Looks like we're live. If anyone can see me, hear me, just give me a thumbs up somewhere so that I can understand we're live. But looks like it. I'll wait for a couple of minutes for folks to start joining in. But if you can just confirm on chat or on in the comment section that I'm live, we can get started with today's session. Okay. Looks like we are live, folks. Thanks so much for joining in. I do want to get started with a couple of things before we move on to taking questions. I want to first emphasize that the timelines for applications are upon us. For a lot of you guys that are thinking that there's enough time for me to apply, let me, chill out a little bit, take it a little easy, and then maybe apply early next year or something along those lines. Not going to work. You absolutely want to make sure that if you are applying to fall 2023, and if your deadlines are in Jan, Feb, March, whenever, you definitely want to make sure that you apply in November or December. We've seen historically that early applications have a higher chances of success, and therefore we would highly encourage that you apply early. Let's think about the timeline a little bit. Most CS, information systems, analytics, etc. programs usually have a deadline around December 15th, January 15th. Most engineering management programs will have either a December 15th or a January 15th as well. You want to make sure that you give enough time to submit a high quality application, which means that you want to give at least 2.5 months to come up with all of the documents that are required to submit a really high quality application to the university. Our recommendation is that you essentially give about 2.5 months. This will include the statements of purpose, the letters of recommendation. You will need to get and talk to professors and ask them for recommendation letters. You will also have to get transcripts from the university. There's also going to be additional essays for some universities, etc. So you want to make sure that you leave yourself with enough amount of time to be able to submit a really high quality application. For those of you who've just joined us, welcome back again. This is becoming a routine. This is becoming a ritual for us here at Gradvine that we go live either on Saturday and Sunday or Sunday. Either Seeker or I have been doing these sessions, and we've seen a lot of comments, a lot of questions from folks. So I'd be happy to take as many questions as you guys have with respect to applications to graduate degrees abroad. Keep your questions coming, folks. So if once we get started, we can start to take as many questions as you want. All right. While we are waiting for a bunch of questions to come in, here is a list of all of the webinars that we are doing at Gradvine. We're going to be doing a webinar tomorrow that I'm going to be leading. This is for everyone who's applying to computer science, information systems, analytics sort of degrees. So this will be the CS and Allied Masterclass. On the masterclass tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about three things. One, how do you shortlist universities based on your profile? Two, how do you write the statements of purpose for these sort of programs that you're applying to? And three, how you can stand out from everyone else and get your dream admit. Those are the three things that I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. So that's happening. We are collaborating with Johns Hopkins University for a repeat of the Masters in Engineering Management webinar pretty soon. All the dates and details will come up in the comment section. One of my team members will put that up. We're also very, very excited, and this is exclusive, not revealed yet, but we're also exclusively doing a session with the University of Maryland at College Park. That's happening soon as well. So I have something to look forward to. This is going to be the Robert H. Smith School of Business. So you will have programs like information systems, quantitative finance, business analytics, of course, the MBA as well. All of these programs, the program director herself is going to come do the session with us. So that's another really exciting opportunity that we are pursuing to get you guys really great content from on the ground. All right, we have our first question. Let's take the question. Ankit asks us, if the TOEFL or the IELTS is above the minimum cutoff, which is mostly 80 or 90, does it impact chances if a candidate scored 98 versus 105? Great question, Ankit. Has no bearing as long as you've cleared the cutoffs. At most universities, irrespective of what your TOEFL or IELTS is, as long as you've cleared the cutoff that has been established by the university, TOEFL or the IELTS or in general the English language exam is not used as a metric within admissions particularly. Of course, they're looking at everything, but not so much focus is going to be given to the IELTS or the TOEFL. 98 is a good score. Do not worry about it. In general, for folks that have not taken the IELTS or the TOEFL or Duolingo yet, please make sure to follow the following guidelines. Make sure you do not take the test at home. We are seeing a lot of test cancellations for those that are taking the test at home. Second, write to the university before taking the test and make sure that the university accepts the test that you are giving. Some universities don't take the TOEFL, some universities don't take the IELTS, some universities don't take the Duolingo. Make sure the university you are applying to takes the test that you are giving, and good 1 to 2 weeks of prep is required. A lot of students are coming in and thinking that the IELTS is or the TOEFL is a very, very easy exam and you can just fly through it. It is, but you still need to acquaint yourself with the test pattern and give a few mock tests. And therefore, my recommendation would be that you give it a week or 2 weeks before taking the test. All right, keep the questions coming, folks. Happy to take as many questions as they come. All right, US or UK for tech programs like MSc in marketing. So for a master's in marketing, right? A Master of Science in Marketing, our recommendation would be the US. With US universities, one of the biggest advantages is if you get into a STEM program, you get 3 years of visa or work permit as compared to 2 years in the UK. The size of opportunity, the size of market is definitely bigger in a country like the US, where the population is 340 million people as compared to 80 million people in the UK. Therefore, from that perspective, absolutely make sure to apply to the US and prioritize that over some of the UK universities. All right, keep bringing your questions, guys. Happy to convert this also into a happy hour sort of a situation where I come every Saturday around this time and then take as many questions as you guys have. So we can do a official office hours sort of a thing where while you are applying as well, if you have any questions or anything that you're facing trouble with, absolutely something that I can go ahead and answer. Does applying in November first week versus November last week for a December 15 deadline work? Not too much of a problem, Ankit. Again, as long as you're applying before the deadline, you're okay. Don't have to apply so much before the deadline that they absolutely miss your application in the first place. But applying in the last week of November for a December 15 deadline is absolutely fine. Don't rush. Make sure quality is high. You still have a lot of time for the last week of November to come by. For December 15 deadlines, there's still a lot of time. Make sure to give it enough time, give it a high quality shot, and make sure that you submit at least about a week before the deadline. That would be a good sweet spot. All right, looking for other questions. Anything else? A lot of you keep following us on all social media. A bunch of you follow us on Instagram, and there are a lot of ask me anything questions there. We try and answer as many of those as possible via text, but I think a video one-on-one is a much better way of answering those questions. So if you want, you can bring all of those AMAs from Instagram onto LinkedIn as well. So questions for me, guys? All right. Let's break down the SOP a little bit while we're waiting for other folks to come back to us with questions. The statement of purpose, specifically for courses like computer science, information systems, analytics, etc., need to be very, very technical in nature. While I'm not saying that they should only have technical details, I'm saying that the technical correctness of the SOP goes a long way in improving your chances of getting into the university that you're applying to. The biggest problems that we've seen in SOPs is with the work experience, internship, and project paragraphs, where students seem to go on and on about what situation they were in, what were the challenges, etc., and don't write anything about the results they were able to get. Therefore, primary with the paragraphs that are related to projects, internships, work experience, etc., are the results. Within results, you want to make sure to talk about any quantitative results, any specific learning that you personally had, and how the work that you did contributed to the overall domain, the company, to the entire industry, anything along those lines. So those three results do not miss out. All right, waiting for a bunch of more questions to come in. Anything else, guys? Please make sure to come ask me as many questions as you have. All right, for someone who's switching from EE to CS, shall I talk about my prerequisites, the SOP? Absolutely, yes. You should talk about your prerequisites, but don't specify and say, hey, I have the prerequisites. Subtly put it in that in spite of being a EE undergrad, I have taken classes in XYZ 123 ABC, which make up for the prerequisites for the Masters in Computer Science. Along with this, I have also worked on certain projects. I've also built certain products, etc., using these technologies as such. Sure, Ankit, if you can, just tune into the masterclass tomorrow. I will specifically break down the 7 different paragraphs of an SOP, and I'll walk you through each one of these paragraphs. Come by to the SOP drafting to the masterclass tomorrow, and I'd be happy to help. All right. Doesn't look like there are too many other questions. So I'm going to hang out for maybe a couple of minutes and then call it a day for today. But in general, expect me to show my face every Saturday around the same time. Let's call it office hours, GradVine office hours. Come to me, bring me all your questions. If there's something that you are not understanding while filling the application form, happy to help with that. If something you're struggling with, writing a particular SOP, happy to help with that. Identifying universities for you, programs for you, happy to help with all of that. Alternatively, if you can't wait till wait a week till Saturday, our lines are always open. You can always schedule a free consultation call with us, and we'd love to do a quick profile evaluation for free and then put you on the right path towards the applications journey. So make sure to do that. I wait a couple more minutes to see if there are any questions, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow on the webinar. All right, doesn't look like there are any more questions. So that's pretty much it for me, folks, for today. I will see you guys on the webinar tomorrow. Gathri will put up the link to the webinar for tomorrow. Make sure you attend it. I will cover, like I said, specifics of how do you shortlist universities and give you literally the shortlist for your profiles. I will tell you exactly how to write the SOP and what needs to go into it. And then I will also make sure to break down all of the profile related stuff that will get you into really good universities. All right. Yeah, Ankit, go for it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. I will see you on the webinar tomorrow. Ciao.